Forget something. Why it is not working? Hello. I'm trying to solve puzzles here. As you can see, rate 2500. What is your rate? We can play after. So, what is your rate? Do you want to play now? Rapid? Rapid. Think I didn't lose any game in Rapid. I don't remember. I didn't play Rapid uh, from a long time in Lichess. It is 2300, which I think high in Rapid. My performance is low right now. See, last time I played Rapid 2019 in Lichess. I win 92, lost 41. Can play if you had chess.com, because my rate is lower there. So because my performance is lower right now, and you can win me with 2100. Really, I'm not playing much. If we can play in chess.com. Do you have chess.com or any other? I think I have also chess24, and I downloaded chess.com, playchess.com. Can you try to solve this with me? What do you think the best move here? Like I'm thinking to take this h times g here, but if I take the pawn, if he take my bishop here and I give him check, he will go here with his king. Then check, he will go here, and then I will check, take his pawn check. He may go here. Um, he took one more bishop here, um, which I think that's not the best move. Like because he will take the bishop here, free bishop. So pawn takes pawn, maybe not the best move. Maybe moving the bishop here or something, or taking his bishop. I don't know the best move. Like these puzzles are really hard. It's more even harder here. Like there's harder and hardest for the same rate. Pawn takes pawn. I will check again. He take my bishop. I give check. He goes here. I give check. He goes here. I take check. He will go here. And then take his queen. He will take with the king. Um, move my pawn one move. He can return with his rook and take the pawn. But I think I will not take his queen. I will move here, check, and then move the pawn. It's not the best move. Ah, okay. Maybe this. Um, and then take and get queen. I should have done that first. What here the black best move? Can't see the best move. G5, and then what? What if I didn't take the G pawn? I protect it with the queen. Like I can move the queen D2 and protect the pawn. And you calculate all of that? Give me a moment. You calculate all of that? I think it is the right move. Because if I move here, um, if he takes and I move the bishop here, if he played f4, I will give him check with the queen and take his bishop. That's why I said maybe queen d2. I didn't see that you can move the rook to g8. But nice, you solve it. But now he will take the bishop also. If I take his bishop, he will take my bishop. To take it with a check. Good job. Good job. If you take right now, it will be a blunder. Nice, nice. You are better than me. I even still didn't wake up. Like I need one more coffee, so I can solve this. I'm really bad. I don't know how I reach even this rank. Okay, tell me what black best move here. The first thing I think about here is that rook b8 maybe the best move. But maybe there is another best move here. d6, how d6? You mean knight d6 to take his bishop. If I return with the queen here, you make rook b8, so he can't defend the bishop, right? But if you move here, he may go queen a6 and protect the bishop. What you will do? Like if you move here, you will move the queen to a6, protect the bishop, right? Maybe after that you will go knight to b1, which is terrible, but is the only move to take the bishop. Yeah, knight b8, I mean, which is terrible, but you will take the bishop. You will have only one move with the queen to go here, and then you take the bishop. A lot of calculations. Like first we move here, even didn't went here. Good job. It is getting harder right now. Why he moved his rook here? He took the bishop. What do you think now the best move? Like he can't give check because the queen prevent this check. You take the rook with the queen or with the knight because it really matter. If you take with the queen, you lose. Or not. Like, what is white threatening here? Like, white is threatening to give you a check from here or move his queen in this position to attack your bishop and your knight. Also, you want his bishop here. So you take the rook with the knight with or with the queen. I let you think I will go make coffee. Did you get it? Queen takes, and then queen d8, and then queen f8. What if he didn't? What if you take and then went to queen f8? Um, hmm. And he takes your queen. Okay, and you take with the king, and then return this bishop. So you will have bishop and knight versus bishop and two knights. You are not winning anything. You It will be a draw. will be a draw or not. Like to the point here, when you take with the king, with the queen, you are attacking the knight, and at the same time you are attacking his bishop. If you take the rook now with the queen, he give you check. You didn't return with the queen. Um, maybe you move the king here. But he will not have a check here. Even here he can't go with the queen here because there's a knight. But he can move his knight to check. And if you go here, mhm, he can't give you a check with his queen. Like first, I think it will be with the queen, which is right. If you return here, will be a draw. He will take. It will be a draw if you move your queen here. So what do you do now? Might try to figure it out. It is not easy position. If you are playing me right now and you are in this position, how you win me? He can return with his bishop here, and or he can return here, but here will be bad because you will block it. it will be a bad bishop, so he have to return here. Now, in this position, you are attacking knight and bishop. If I move the king here, he can't give me a check with his queen, but he can give me check with his knight. He can give it check here or check from this position. Yeah, so he can return here and return here, or he can return even here. I'm not talking about one pawn that you will take, but you need now to take one piece from him, which is knight or bishop. If I move the king here, you even can move it here. If you move it here, he will take your knight. So you have to move your king here. He will give you a check with the knight here. Maybe you will go with the king here. You're still protecting your pieces, and he can't attack your bishop. I think the best move king to f7. It will be hard for black, but I think he will manage to protect himself. Uh, Not the right move. Maybe it is returning queen to f8. It is the only move. That's it. I need to check the engine, what it says. What if I move here? Black looks way stronger for white, but mm, the, you have perfect pawns and a perfect position also. Mm. So you were right about queen f8. Like you are solving most of them. I told you are solving most of them. Maybe it means your rate is 200, 600 or 2 500 if you are solving them. Because this puzzles for the rate who have rate 2 500 or 2 600. Ah, man. Chess is too hard. I used to dream about the games I play in tournaments. Like my games in real games, not online, used to be like 4 hours. Like one game can take 4 hours, and then you dream about why you have lost this game. You dream about your games. And then when you move in the street, if I moved this way, something will happen. If I move this way, something will happen. You will have a prediction in your mind. Chess makes you predict more or make you think more. It make your brain better and stronger. I'm sure about that, but it take a lot of time and take a lot of your brain power. That's why I don't. I left chess and return again. So I'm not continuous playing chess. It takes a lot of your power, and when you play a strong opponent, it take a lot of your power. Like some players I played 200 rate, fight rate, or IM or FM. You have to think about all the moves when you play a real match. Because when you do one mistake or you lost one pawn, you will lose the game. You will solve all the puzzles now. What do you think about this puzzle? Now white is threatening to check and take your rook. And you as black, you are threatening to take his knight and take his bishop. Because you can move your rook. Like I also calculate rook d8 because you will be protecting it. And you want to attack his knight. If you went to rook d8, I think he will return with his bishop here. And then you can take his knight. He takes, and you take with the queen. I don't see any threat. Like now, you have to move the rook. I think there's no other move you can do right now. Only move the rook. And it will not be b8 because b8 it is a closed line here. So I think rook d8 is better. As you say, I will go with you. You know the best moves. Yeah, as I said, he will return here. Is there another move than taking the knight with the bishop? Is the only move? You will take one pawn now. You are. Looks easy, right? It's weird. It matter if you take with the rook or take with the queen. If you take with the rook, it'll give you check and take this. So it have to be with the queen. That was an easy puzzle. That's in the game. In the game, always have a lot of thinking. That's a free pawn, and that's a free pawn. If you try to go with the king here, and he moves this, you will take, but you will leave this pawn, so he will take. Think you take this, he will take, and move this pawn. So be a free pawn. That's what I said. If you move here, he will move this pawn. You will take, he will take this pawn. And you can go with the king and take this. But now, if I move this, if I take this pawn first, okay, you have to take and move this. I want to get a queen with this pawn. And he can move a move like this, f4. And you will move h5. He will move f3. But you will not get this pawn. Your move is always the right move. I know that you mean this, but you have to think about other variations also. If you take, okay, you will take. You will move h4. You move f f4. You will move the king. You will move e3. You have to move the king to d3. Now he can't move the f pawn. He will take this. You will move h5. You will move the king here is e6. You will move h6. You move the king here. You move here, and he will take your pawn. So it is not right. Uh, my move is not right, I think. If you move here, um, Like taking this pawn is not right. I move here. He moves. I take, he takes. Then I take. He takes. Then move h4. He takes. I take. It is not easy. So you say this move, right? Not right, my friend. This one you lost. Like you were winning all of them. This one you lost. You are not strong in the game. Maybe this one as I calculate. So he takes first and then you have to move. You have to take. The order matters. Order. You are weak in the game. Right? So you're strong in middle game but not strong in end. The puzzles are showing that. I am the same. I didn't solve it completely. This is between two FMs, two player FMs here. This puzzle. Like white wants to give him checkmate. And black um, if you move the king here, he will give you check and take your queen. Uh-huh. Like I can't move the king here, and I can't move the king here, and not here, and not here, and not here. I have to protect with the pawn or with the knight. With the knight, he will take the knight. Have to be with the pawn. Can move the king here. And I can block with the bishop. But if I block with the bishop, um, I think I have to move here. You don't have any other check. Okay. Okay, buddy. We can play if you want to play. So I was only trying to improve. We can play in chess.com if you want. And thank you for the follow anyway. So if you want to play, we can play now. But it was good that we are solving these puzzles just to improve. You will be improved, and I will be improved. Like puzzles really make you a lot of stronger in chess. Like if you already play a perfect opening, middle game, a lot of thinking. Like you choose uh, to fight in the right side or fight in the left side or in the center, um, and then end the game. Like puzzles make you strong in middle and end the game. Who will solve these puzzles now when you leave? Like, I'm losing these puzzles alone. Yeah. Here I think you will move pawn to h3, check. Only move is to move the king here. If I give check with the rook, he will protect with the rook. Have to be this move first. Maybe this move. Not the right move. and move the rook here and take his rook. Hmm. If I move the queen here, he can move the king here. If he return here, I'll give him check and take the bishop, or be checkmate. So he can't move here. If he moves here, uh, can play the rook here and try to take his bishop. Only move for him is to protect the bishop here. Maybe this is not right. I have another move here, rook 4, attacking his queen. But if I move here, queen check, he can go here also. I think rook here first. I lost again. This is not right. Maybe rook here first. Hmm. Why here? If he moved here, this one is really hard. You take the queen now. Ah, he lost the bishop here. It was really hard. I need to check something. It is not working. It's weird. Okay. Maybe moving the queen here is the best move. I have to take it first with the bishop, because he can move this pawn here. If I take the bishop, he will get a queen here. But I can get a queen also from here and I have a knight. I take, you will move here. Take this, check. You move and then I get here. I get a queen, I take the queen. Move this. You return, I move this. You will get here. And then I go with the king. It is the same if I take this and go back. Why it is not right? Because the king moved one spot. Oh shit. I have to put it first. Like if I take this, I take with this queen wants to give me a checkmate here. I will give him checkmate if he'll do that. Also, if I move here, he have he can return with rook here. Check. When I take this, maybe I can block with the knight here. I think that's the best move. I have to protect with the knight. I have to take with the queen. Take it. Mhm. If I move my rook here, I want to give him checkmate. I have to protect with the queen here. Then I can take this with the bishop and want to attack this. Or I move this first. I have to move his rook and then attack his queen with the bishop with the rook. He can return here. Or take this first. I can take this first. If he take, he'll give me a check. Hmm. This is between IM and to 500 to 500. I move the rook here. He return with the queen here. Then I take this with the bishop. Then he can move this pawn one move. Or do this move. Attack his rook. You have to defend it. Uh, I'm not sure what to do. Sure. Hmm. What's it? He's attacking both now. He's attacking the bishop and attacking this. I have to protect it first. Have to be this move. If I move the bishop here, check, you will move this bishop and protect it. This move is terrible. I will have weak pawns here. They can't move this because he will give me check with the queen. The only move here is pawn check or bishop check. It's only two moves. Maybe here. Can't see. Yes. Bishop here. He will move here. And bishop here. Only move to play this. But I don't get it why he don't protect with the bishop. I will take his queen here. Here, why he don't move this? If I take, I will take his queen. Hmm. A lot of moves. Uh, Maybe here. I need his knight and I need to attack this. But the knight don't have any place. I have to protect the rock. At the same time, need to send. If I move here, I don't protect this. Think queen here. He still knight better than taking this. If I take, he will. Hmm, this is better. If I take, he will take with the queen. Protect this. Now black can give me a check from here. So I have to move the queen so he don't give me check from here. I move the queen here and I want to give him checkmate. Can't protect it. If I move here, he will give me check from here. If I move the king here, he will give me check. If I put the pawn here, he will take the other pawn. Or maybe if I give check here, if I went with the queen here, he give me check here. I block with the bishop. If he takes the bishop, check. I will move the king here. He don't have a check with the queen. Why it is not best move? I want to check it. I thought, but this is blunder. He move here. I didn't check it. I have to take. So that was blunder. Now it is a draw. Check something. Why when I press it, it don't work? Not played. Back to play and win. If I move the knight here, check. He can't take because I will give him checkmate. So if I move the knight here, check. You have to move the king here. Um, Then maybe check with the pawn. He will move the king here or here. If he moved here, I have to check with the other pawn. If he moved here, when my knight is here, can give him check with the knight. If I check here with the knight, he will take. And if I give him check with the queen here, pawn. It is not right. I think only move is check with the knight here. Because if I move also the queen now, he will take the knight because he's attacking with queen and rook, so he will take a free knight here. I can't move the queen. I have to sacrifice my knight. I think it is the only move. If I move my queen check from here, he can block with the pawn. Also, white is threatening to attack this pawn check. Maybe I can move my queen here. I can discover a check. If I move my queen here, he can move his king here. And then he will move the king here, attacking my rook, so he will escape. What is black best move now? Maybe I have to move the queen here, as I said. He will move the king here. I move my rook here, and I want to give him checkmate. He can't prevent this. I think it is the only move. I win it. Now black to play and win. Here is trying to draw with me. Because if I take his rook, it will be 4 pawns versus 4 pawns, which is draw. Don't have to be a draw also, because his pawns will be weak pawns when I take this. There is another move. If I move my rook here, or if I take and try to move my king to take his pawns, I have weak pawns. If I move my rook, he will move his rook and try to take this. This is a move for taking his rook. I think this is the right move. Maybe rook takes rook. I'm not sure the best move here. I here will think that if I take his rook, he will have a weak pawns. But if I play this, my pawn will be also weak like him. But he can move his king here and protect them. If I move my king here, he will move here. If I move here, he will move here. I have to use my king. It really matter right now if I use the pawn first or I use my king first. If I move here, he will move here. If I move here, he will move here. And then he can use his pawns to check my king. If I use this pawn first, he will take, I take. Maybe I can play the pawn here to block his pawns, but he can play this first. If I play this first, he can't move either his two pawns. I move this first. He will move his king, and then I move the other pawn. If he take, I take. If he went with his king here, it will be a draw, like this. Thank you for the follow, AS, ASC. Hey buddy, what do you think the best move here? It's really hard. Like I don't know, move the king first or move the pawn first. Like as I said, if I move the king first, he will be having the advantage and move one pawn and check my king, and then I will move. And if I move the pawn first now, it will be a weak pawns. Like moving this first is always hard, right? But if I move the king first, he will move his king here. And like I'm trying to take his pawns with the king. But if I move the king here, he will move his king here. And he has the move right now. Like I have to move my king before he give me a check with his pawn. I'm not sure. It really looking very hard also for me, like to calculate all of this. What I know now, he have weak pawns, weak structure pawns, because at first they protect each other here, but now this pawn is weak and this pawn is weak. So to take them, I need to have the next move with my king. And if I move this, he can't play either of them. If I play this, but he can move his king and try to take this. I'm also bad at in the game, so if I will play, I will play this. And I'm not sure if it is right or not. It is wrong. Maybe moving with the king first. As I said, advantage. I think I will move this. Or play h5. If I play h5, move this. He only can move this. If he moves this one is blocked already if I played h5. I don't think this is right to play g5. I think h5 is the right move. So I am bad at in the game. I'm really bad at in the game. Maybe it is this. Okay. You guys say what is the best move. Like if it is your game right now, uh, what you will do to win with black? But now what is left? You move this pawn or you move the king here. King e5. No. High level, huh? That's high level. I can walk with the king here and try to take this. Maybe I will be faster, right? Like moving the king here and try to get this. Yeah, I'm bad at endgame. So that's middle game. I should win this, right? But I let you guys to think about it. So white now have to win. What white do to win? First move I saw that to move queen to h5 and I want to give him checkmate. Um, he now is attacking my knight here. If I move queen to h5, he can take my knight. It is easy. If he takes my knight, I take with the rook, and then he took my knight. There is no checkmate. Double sacrifice mat. Like what he will do now to win with white. I'm thinking to take this pawn. You sacrifice your knight. If he take with the king, you check with your queen. He return back here, and then move your rook here. You want to move your rook, like you will move your rook here and then go to h3, and you want to give him checkmate. You don't have defend for this, and you can leave your other knight, but there is a knight and rook sacrifice. You mean I sacrifice this and then sacrifice my rook and move the other rook here, check, and then play the queen, right? But there is a probability here. If I played the knight, if I sacrifice the knight here, he may not take the knight. Like I mean, if I take now, he may not take the knight. He can take the other knight. Or if I move here first, there is a probability. If I sacrifice the knight, he may not take the knight. That's what I mean. He may not take it. Like he don't care about the knight. Like I sacrifice a knight. He takes the other knight. He will not take this knight. I still sacrifice my rook. Check. Okay. He can take the rook, or he can move here with the king to h8. So he will not take either the rook or the knight. But if he do that, I will move the queen here. So I can discover check with the knight. Now he will die. He will not kill me here. If he takes this, I can move the king b1. But maybe it is right. Like, but and this is wrong to sacrifice the knight here. I think sacrifice here is right. And playing the queen first is not right. He can take it easily. Like I will move this first. It is right move. Now he is blocking my queen. But I can still now. He can't take it because the pawn is pinned. So I can sacrifice the rook after the pawn. After I move my queen here. Or I can sacrifice it right now. But I don't think right now is right. Like I have to move the queen first here. He can't take my queen. And next move I will sacrifice the rook here. Like here first. Like this. Now I can take it easily. He can't protect it. Like whatever he does here, if he takes a knight, the engine went 14, 14 met. Like I will do this. The engine calculating it is met in 14. He is trying to sacrifice everything he have. Checkmate. Actually, it is really not easy. This rate is really not easy. But you guys solve it also. Not me only, like you also solve it. You told me to sacrifice knight and the rook. So you guys solve it. I will leave you guys solve this one. Like now black plays and win. Now white wants to take your knight. At the same time, you can take his rook with you can take the rook with the king. So what do you think black best move here? Like I saw a checkmate here, but the problem that this knight is not protected. You can't take this also because it is protected with a pawn. Seems hard. Also, white is threatening to give you check and trying to give you checkmate from here. You have to see that white threatening to give you check. He can take this and get a queen from here. Like this game is between GM 2600 and the other one is 2600. It is not easy. He moved, I think, before this. Black checked and white entered here, attacking your knight. In h2 and pawn to queen. Here, right? I thought about it also. If you done that, the only move for white is king to e4. Only move. If you moved the pawn here and you want to get a queen, he can give you a check with the other rook. You move here. Now he also can give you a check with the rook here because you moved the knight already here. Um, so if he give you a check here, you can move your king here, and of course you'll not go with the king here because here I think you will die. You'll take a checkmate. So the best move is to go here. If he gives you another check, a lot of calculation. Like first, I think it is the right move that what you said that knight goes here, but you have to see what white is trying to do here. You move knight check. You have to go with the king here. Okay? You move. You want to get a queen. He will check. Only move for black is here. He will check. Only move is here. He can give you another check. You move here, attacking the other rock. So now he can take this, but you'll get a queen. So I think it is the right move what you have said, but you have to see all the other what white will do here. So first he goes here. Not right. So white can kill you, I think, if you will do this move. No, but I thought it is right because when you move the king until here, you're attacking his rook. At the same time, you are threatening to get a queen. So I think it is right, it is not wrong. We will see what is a solution, but now what you have to do is black. Maybe the knight will move another place, like maybe here. When you move the knight here, you want to give him checkmate. So you have to take your knight with the rook. Maybe this move is the best move. This one. Yeah, it is the best move. easy. Like it really seems easy. But I want to see the other variation. Like if he went here, you said he will go here, right? The engine says +6 for white. We said that white will move here, right? Only move. If we said we will do this, and we said he will do this. I said we will do this. There's mat for white in 15. Even he will not do this move. He will move the king, and then you can't promote to a queen. In 15. It's really hard. I didn't think even that I will move the king here. Like I thought um, he will do rook check. If I go here, um, this is a blunder to return here. This is a blunder. So best move is to try to draw. This is a blunder. The solution is too easy. Like moving the knight here. And you want to give him a checkmate. So the only way here is to take the knight. And you take. Now white can't prevent this pawn. Like if he like I don't know, but he can't prevent this. The three pawns are really too strong. Let's go to the next one. End game. How white is winning here? So now um, you want to promote your pawns here. You have three pawns. So what you will do here as white? You will try to play this and want to promote to a queen or play. Now you have a check, so you have to move the king or this pawn. You guys are better than me in the game, so I let you solve it. Like for example, if you moved the king here, he will try to give you repeated checks with the rook. So the only move, I shouldn't say it is the only move, because if you played this pawn now, it is pinned. You can't move it again because the rook is spinning it. So you can move your king here, and if you moved your king, he will take this, and you can't move the king here or here. Or if you play this, he can go and take the other pawn. But I think it is the only move to play this. It is not right to go here. Like if you went here in this, he will try to give you repeated checks. Like what you will do here to win with white. Like it is your win. Do you guys will solve it or I solve it? I am bad at in the game. So you solve it already or I should solve it? Like you have to think about all the here. Black he can go to this pawn or he can go here and try to attack these two pawns. So I move the pawn, right? What if black played his king here? Maybe I play the other pawn. And then he moves here attacking this pawn. Which is not right, I think. Or I move this. Okay. He moved his king here. You can't go top with your king because he will take this. What if I move the king here and trying to move this pawn? If he check, I move here. If he check again, can move here or here and try to move it. But if you move now, you are blocking or pinning your king. I think I should move here. And here I think it is wrong because um, I don't know if it is wrong, but if I win, I will attack his rook like here. Wrong again. Maybe what you have said is this move. Maybe this is the best move. Not right. Maybe it is a move I said that it is wrong. Maybe it is this move. Uh, that's the right move. He will take this anyway. So I have to move this or this. I think this because his black king can't reach this. No, it is so hard. In the game really is so hard. You don't like end game, huh? The problem here, I can change the type of the puzzles here. Like you like sacrifice, right? When I used to take some lessons in chess before with a trainer, like I used to tell him that I like the kind of sacrifice, sacrifice rook and sacrifice queen, sacrifice and give him checkmate. That's the kind of lessons I like about when I used to take puzzles. I like sacrifice more than in the game. But really, in the game needs a big, big brain, you know, to think about all the solutions. Or you want me to play? My rate is not like I am 2,400 in Blitz. I just got to 400. Like it is really hard in the game, really, really hard, not easy. Like remember when they say that Magnus is the best in the game? I think because he took a lot of these lessons the pawn and the king. That's why Magnus is best in these puzzles. Like you don't know what is the training that Magnus is taking to become the number one champion in chess. Maybe he is taking these lessons about in the game more than middle or opening. Like opening, you have to know the right moves about every opening because if you done any mistake in the opening, um, you can lose one pawn or your position will be very bad in opening. In middle game, you need to know after you have done already the opening right. Yeah, in the game really is very hard. Like opening, you have to know the right moves in the opening because if you have done any mistake in the opening, you can lose one pawn or you will be weak. Like you will have a bad position. He will be having a good game and easy game. He can move all his pieces easily, and you will have a really rough game when you play a wrong opening. So you have to also to know the right moves at the start. Um, in like it is in every variation, like Roy Lopez or um, Queen's Gambit. You have to know you have to know all the right moves in the opening. After you have done already the right opening, you have to enter the middle game to know you will attack in this direction or you have to attack in the left direction or you have to control the center. Um, like middle game, also variations in the middle game, like you, but it depends on you which direction you need to play or which direct like you want to attack here or you want to attack here. It depends on you in the middle game, but in the end game, it all rely on uh, like the brain. Like it's really super hard in the end game. That's why Magnus is number one in the game because it really rely a lot about calculations. You can see it is a draw game, but he can see that it is a winning position in the end game. That's why it is really hard in the game. Pawns and king and rocks. I don't like in the game. I like sacrifice. Like I sacrifice queen, and then I sacrifice rock. I sacrifice knight, and then kill his black king. I like sacrifice more than in the game. I can change the type of training to be only sacrifice because I think most of the players or all the players like sacrifice training more than in the game. In the game is really hard. Like now, it is middle and end game. It is not end game now. It is a middle game, still middle game. But one move here, I think white can win here. I think he moved his black king, black queen here to protect his rock. It is creative also, but I mean it is really hard because it needs a lot of calculation. Like the previous one, but some of them like what I remember, um, some cases you know that it is draw or it is a win, like bishops. If you have a black bishop and you have a white bishop, it have to be a draw. Or how to win a black king with knight and bishop, or how to win with two bishop. Um, like now, I don't remember how to win with the king with knight and bishop. I don't remember how. Like some really for FM and IM knows all of this, and they know already the opening. That's why they are IM and IFM, because they know all the openings. They know a lot of variations in the end game, and they read books. I don't like to read books in chess. I rely more in playing online. Like here, if you move the knight here, you want to give him a checkmate, right? But he can move his queen here, or like maybe it is the right move here, knight to g5. You want to give him checkmate because he can't play his rook here. You will take his knight. So if I move the knight here, so either he move his queen check from here or move his queen check from here, and then you move your king here, and he can't give you check here because you have a queen here. I think this is the best move. Did you find the best move here? I let you solve it if you can. Queen D, Queen D7 here. What if I give him check with the knight and take his rook? Like if I play here and you play Queen D7, I play knight uh, F7 check and take his rook with the queen or not. Not equal, man. You have strong pawns here. He takes the knight, you take the knight, and these pawns will get queen easily. You only need to take his queen with the queen. Yeah, you have two pawns more, and they are free to get a queen. Like his black king can't reach these two pawns. What do you think about that? Like he can't kill you with the rook and the queen when you play knight to g5. He will move the king here and he can't give you a check from here. You will have two pawns, extra pawns. I think this is the right move. Do you have another move? If you know another move, tell me. And okay, queen e1. Okay, so I move the knight here. Queen e1. I will move the king to h2. No, I can't take the knight. I move the knight here. You say queen e1. Okay. I will move the king to h2. How he will take my knight? Knight is here. So maybe it is the right move. Yeah, as I said, he will try to give a check from here. I'll move the king here. Now he is forcing to take my queen. I'll take. And then check and take his rook. And I have two extra pawns here to get a queen. Okay, you try to solve this. b4. So I can take the bishop, right? What if I move the queen to e5? Right, I can protect the bishop from queen e5. And c2. Okay, you will move the knight here. I will move the bishop maybe to b2. You didn't take the bishop. You mean you take the pawn? No, you didn't take anything. I saw something else here. Maybe it is right, maybe it is not. I sacrifice my knight to f5. Okay, attacking his bishop. If he take, I take with the rook, attacking his queen. And now he don't protect the bishop. I don't know how I saw it, but maybe it is the right move. Like, right, he will attack the queen with the rook. If he return here, you will give him check with rook. He will move here. Then you will move the rook here, want to give him checkmate. He can protect it with the rook. It's not right. Like it need a lot of more thinking. Like I sacrifice the knight here. He takes. I take. Attack the queen. He will move the bishop here. Okay. I will give him check. He will move here. And if I move the rook here, he will prevent it with the rook here. Or he can go back. No, but go back is not right because um, you can give check with the queen here. That is not right. There's something here about this puzzle that maybe you want to give him check and take the rook, but you have to move the queen. Wait, wait, wait. Maybe I find it. Maybe you're right about this. Okay. Now first you will move this. You will go here. You will take this. He takes. You take check. He will give you check here and give you checkmate. I don't know. Like maybe b4 is right, the one you said first. He will move here. with the queen. Okay. Did you get it or not? There is something deeply here. First NC2. I have to move this first. I, you said NC2. You are attacking my bishop. I have to move the bishop. What if I return the bishop here? Wait. I begin before. I go here to protect my bishop. Then you mean knight c2? Or move the bishop here. Then I attack um, the queen with my rook. He will move his queen. Then I give him check with my queen. He moves and then I take his rook. Right? It's really a hard one, but maybe it is right now. Like we started before. He goes here. Knight c2. Attack this. He moves. Then you play. Wait. There's a problem here. If you move knight c2, he moves bishop e3. You can't move your rook here. So I think best move now is to move rook to e1. Okay. And rook e1, you want to do what you want to do now. You want to play knight c2, attack his queen and attack his at the same time. Knight c2 is not right. You will move bishop to c3, and you can't move the rook to e1. Are you with me or? I think this is the best move. not the best move. I was wrong again. It is not right. What is this puzzle? It is really hard. If knight f5, I take. If you take with the rook, he check. Uh, yeah, he check. If I move my king here, he will check with the queen. And then I move um, my king here. Maybe it is right. Not right. Maybe it is knight c2, as we said. Why it is too tricky? This puzzle is really too tricky. Where are you, Magnus? Easy for Magnus, huh? Knight c2 is right? How? What about bishop c? But now it is easy to move this. I said bishop when knight c2, he can move this. What is the problem here? I didn't see rook f3. So rook f3, so you can move it here. Really? Sorry, I'm not a genius. Imagine you have to move it here. So you move this here, and then you move this here, and then he moves here. I'm not a genius. I'm sorry. This one is really tough. This one is really tough. It is even tough more than the end game, right? It is more harder than the end game. I let you solve the next one, okay? But you at least said before, so you were thinking to take the bishop here. So we done it. How many moves? It is really too many moves in this position. If we calculate how many moves in this position we have done, this is one, okay? Two, three, uh, like we said, this is one. I don't know, it is really hard, buddy. You said before first, so before is right move. But you need to know how to continue, because it is a real match. Like the puzzle is giving you a real match between players. So you can be in this position if you are playing a one game. Can be in this position, and it can be a win for you if you know the idea, as you are saying, how to win it. That's end game. Can you solve this end game? I am helping you here, or you want to help me? Mm. What happened before? He went with his rook. He is attacking your pawn. You took this pawn. Right. Now what white have to do? If you attack, if you take this pawn, he will take this pawn. What about if I move the king here first? You are protecting this, because when you protect this, then you can take this freely, right? Maybe it is easier than is easy puzzle, not like before. Uh, to take this, you have to protect this. Do you have another move? Logically, and then you find it is a wrong move. Did you find any other move before I play it? If you have an idea or something. Like black also want to promote his pawn to a queen. King c5, right? So you are with me about this. I'm afraid it is wrong. Okay, I think it only move to take this. What about if I move the rook here? Check. He takes, you take this. Okay. The idea about this, if he moves this pawn, you can get it with your king, but if he went there, I was thinking to give a free pawn here, so you can promote this. I think it is not right. You have to take this. Now you move the king here or here. If you move it here, he will force you to protect this and block the pawn. I think the only move is king c4. Then you can move your rook and try to take the pawn. Like you don't want to exchange the rook with the rook now. I think best move is this. Okay, that was easy puzzle, not the one before, not like the one before. You know that the puzzles here are normal, like it says difficulty is normal here. You can make it hardest. Like it says here 600 points above your puzzle rating. Like it means this will be 3000. I think we are not in this level, right? Uh, do you want me to play or to keep trying solve puzzles here with you? I can play. I feel tired about these puzzles. I can play you also if you. So you like to solve the puzzles with me, okay? So let's solve this. Some players like to play, some like to solve puzzles. I actually like to solve puzzles now also to improve my performance, and then I can play. So if you want to see the last move here, what I have done here, I changed it by mistake. So I wanted to see the previous move. Last move, white took your rook. What is black next move? So you can take his rook also, but you need to see what white. No, my blitz is for 1 moment. My blitz is 2400, and rapid is 2 3000. It should be more than 2 3000 in rapid and classic, as you can see. I don't play like last time I played rapid in 2019, 2020. If it have a question mark, it means it should be higher. Like when I play one game and I win, I can be like 400 in rapid or classic. I don't like bullet. Bullet, yeah, bullet is it's too bad actually. I can't play super fast. and it destroy your vision when you play bullet. I remember I beat it IM before or FM. I don't remember. I played also a GM before in real tournaments. Don't think I am weak. I played Super GM before in real tournaments. So now, what is black? What is black next move? Like here, it's showing my real rank here because I'm solving puzzles. So it's saying that I am 2500 or 2600, right? I can't solve these puzzles if I am lower than this rank. And we can try to get 3000. If we get 3000, it means when I play Blades or Classic, I can be way stronger when we get 3000 in puzzle. What do you think about Black best move here? You can take his rook, or um, for example, if I move knight here, you want to give him check, okay? But he can protect it with his queen here. This is something. If I move here, okay, he protected with the queen. You can take this bishop, and then you can take the rook also. So you will be more one bishop. Like I move this first, okay, or maybe he will take this. Ah, he will take this and protect this. What if I take the rook first? Now his next move, he want to take your bishop. But he can't take the bishop because he will take this bishop also. So you will take the rook. If he takes the bishop, you will take his bishop. So now you have knight and bishop. And like I don't see any other move here. Do you have any other move? Thank you for the follow, uh, cashier. Thank you for the follow. So what do you think the best move here? أهلان. So I think bishop takes rook here is the best move. If he takes the bishop, you will take this bishop also. You, you are a beginner in chess? What is your rank in chess rating or it depends on your rate also. 650? It is really beginner. I mean, you still need first thing you need to know about is openings and a complete opening like Royal Lopez or Queen Gambit or like you need to know the openings and also you need to know end game, how to win an end game with a queen or how to win an end game with two bishops or with a rook. Um, like I remember when I took lessons in chess first time, he used to tell me about how to kill the king with a pawn or with a rook or with two bishops. That's what I remember when I first took lessons in chess. Like you need to know how to kill the king, and then he used to tell me about openings and chess puzzles as we solve right now. But this is chess puzzles, the high rank, not low rank. Like the rating is two 600 or two 500, so it is high, not low rank puzzles. You need to know a lot about chess. But first, you need to know, as I said, how to kill the Black King. I can tell you, but the problem here, if I teach you here, I think other players know how to do this stuff also. I can teach you privately if you want. Yeah, so that is best move for Black here. I thought it is a wrong move because he will take this anyway and prevent this. And then I take this. He can move his rook anywhere. Like what if he move his rook here? It is saying checkmate in 3. You are from Dubai? Last tournament I played in Dubai in 2018. That was the last tournament I played. I think I played 3 IM there or 2 IM and 1 FM. I think I win one of them, but I don't remember. Like last tournament was 2018 in Dubai. I have played. Um, 'Cause here it says checkmate in 3. I didn't. Thank you for the follow, Patrick. So here check. Says you'll move here. Check. I didn't see this variation. I didn't solve this. Um, like you guys can solve these puzzles, or I can try to solve it. But I like that we try to solve it together, like everyone try to say an idea and try to solve the puzzles. So now, what white can do to win the game? Can you play a game online with me? You want me to coach you? Maybe privately, as I told you. You can join my Discord. This Discord used to be for another game I used to stream before, but you can join me and I can teach you about how to win the Black King and some opening to be stronger in chess. But maybe after the stream, not on the stream also. Like it can be private, me and you in Discord. So here you say queen g5, then you want to move to queen h6, right, to take this pawn. But if you move to queen g5, he can play. He can't play at h5. You will take with your rook. No, I know that you want to move your queen g here and then to move here to give him checkmate. Maybe it is the right move already. Like what black can do when you move here. The only move maybe f5 or f6, and this queen will protect the checkmate here. So the only solution is f6 or f5 if you move here. But you can take the pawn with the e pawn. You want to see the move? Not the right move. So the solution here is, I was thinking about this move actually. Um, you sacrifice your rook here, and then use the other rook to give him checkmate. Like he will take, you play your other rook here or here. He will give you a check. You will move with your king. Give another check. Um, if you go here, he can't give you any check. Or he can. He will try to do any move to prevent the mat from here. Like you want to give him checkmate in one now. So he is trying to do any move. He can't prevent it. So whatever black do here, he will lose. Yeah, oh, like I saw the sacrifice, but I didn't see that, or didn't see. I didn't calculate all of it. Like you have to move the other rook um, to try to give him checkmate because I remember I saw something like that before. I didn't calculate all of it. So it is okay. So now that's another puzzle. White to play and win. He moved his black queen here. He's spinning your rook. Okay. And he wants exchange queens also. You have a move here to give him check with your queen. And the black king either move here or here. If he moves here, you can't give him check with the rook because it is pinned. I think I saw the move. Like you move your rook here. If he takes this, you take the rook check. He moves and takes the other and takes the queen. So you took one rook. Maybe it is the right move. Yeah, yeah, as I said. Hmm. So now white to play and win. Do you guys want to solve it or I solve it? Like I saw a move here when he done his bishop here. Like I saw rook e1. Like rook e1, you want to take his bishop. It is pinned. If he give you a check here, you move your king here. Or no, no, no. You take the bishop with the rook. Check. Okay. He will take with the queen, and you pin his queen with your rook. Maybe it is the right one. I think there's stronger play here. It says it is not right, even if you take his queen. Because I think black have a lot of pawns here. Like black is better because they have 3 pawns. Maybe this. I didn't see that you can play this. But why the other move is not right? Like the other move also winning. This move are not winning. It is a draw. Like if you didn't done this move, it will be a draw. And draw hardly, not easy draw. Like black, it will be too hard for black to play a game like this. It will be too hard for black to draw this game. So the other one is stronger. This move is stronger. Like whatever he does here, you will take and try to kill him. Also, the other one is better. I think you will take his rook also. If you move here, you will move your queen here and take his rook. But you have to make sure that he don't draw with his black queen. Yeah, I saw his games that he was playing in the previous in this month or but I saw only two games. I didn't see all of his games. I saw only two games of Magnus. I see his score that he destroyed Iron because he's Magnus. His Magnus can play it like, but it is really hard to draw with knight and a rook against one queen. It is really hard for a normal player. Like now, what white can do to win? Now white wants to promote a queen. Yeah, he wins the game, of course, right? I have to see this game. Like I only saw two games of him recently. So what white can do here to win the game? You have to see that black can give him check from here. If you move here, like if you take this pawn, he give you check from here, and you move here maybe he can't give you another check, but he is preventing the promotion here. Like if you take now the pawn, he give you a check here. You move your king here. He is preventing this. He can move his black king here and he wants to give you a check from here. And if you move here now and they give you a check, you will return here. But what if I move here or here? Maybe here. Here he can't give you any check. Think here is the best move. Then you can play rook here and check and get a queen. Like this is the best move, I think. And easy you play this and promote to a queen. Easy. That was easy. And I am trying to get to 600 at least. I was like 8 points to get to 600 and I lost them. Now what is white best move? So this check. He will move here or here. Maybe you move the pawn check. He will move. If you sacrifice the pawn, he can't take the pawn here. You have to go one of these 3 points. If you play this pawn here check, he move here for example. You play the queen and want to give him check from here. Or maybe you play the rook first here, pinning the king and the queen. Maybe it is the right move. What do you think the best move here? It is not mad. Like if I played it, he will move one of these 3 positions. He can go here. Um, but I'm thinking to pin um, the king with the rook here. This between a GM and 2500. Then check queen push pawn. He will move here. But there's a play that you can play your bishop here. It is really hard, buddy. Maybe queen check first. So he don't go here. So it is here. Then the queen. Yeah, as you said, not me. But what I am threatening here, what if I played this, moved here, for example? He will try to pin with the rook, as I said. What if I play this? It is not right. Best move is this, as you said. He move one of this and then play. It depends on which one he will move. If he move here, you move the rook. If he plays here, you play the queen. It depends. Like here, I don't think that's the right move. It is not easy one. End the game. So now, what do you think white is best move? We return to the end game again. I don't think it is with white. Have to be with a pawn to be two strong pawns here. Like taking this with a knight will be weak. Like he can play his king here and take this pawn and attacking this pawn. When you play this, he can't play his bishop here to prevent this pawn. I think it have to be with the pawn. And you even can don't care about your knight here. You only push this pawn. But if you try to push now, he will move his king here. You can't push now because he will put his king here. If you give check, he will move here. So what do you think? I also getting tired of this. Like I can close the stream after that because I need to take some rest from these puzzles. Maybe I will stream again, maybe today or tomorrow when I am hungry. So I may take rest after this. Now we need to solve this. If you move this, you will go here. It is not right. If I move the king, he will get queen from here. I saw something. I don't know, but maybe knight goes here and then sacrifice this and move this pawn. I'm not sure. This is not right. Take this and take it. He will take this and try to push this. I'm sure it will be this. Not right. What if he return here? He return here. He return here. He return here. I don't see the winning here. If I move this, I'll go here. Now my knight have a place to play. It was a hard puzzle, so I will stop for now. I will only take some rest, okay, Patrick's, and I will maybe try to stream today or tomorrow also. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching. She had fun and learned about puzzles here. Thank you.